Hello, and I am copying Adam Levitan's intro because I still haven't figured out how to be entertaining or have my own intros on streams. It has been a minute since I've plugged the mic in, and I don't have a co host to tell me if I sound okay, so hopefully I do. Um, I've- like I said, I haven't been on in a while, so wanted to, was inspired to share some new features. There's been a lot of advancement in the best ball, companion tool space. So yeah, for those of you that are new around here, I'm Easy, proprietor of easydfs.xyz. And basically what I've been working on for the past couple of years was what I think the most customizable best ball companion tool for Underdog, for DraftKings. You can import your own rankings. You can use my rankings and basically help you build the best teams possible. And what I was going to do today is just update on a couple of new features for those of you that do subscribe, and show you some tips and tricks, or anyone new, if this is something that might interest you, just show you what I've been working on. So Chip, GM, and GM to everyone. If anyone wants to keep myself and Chip company in the chat, you're more than welcome. I'll see if I can put some background music on, etc. So yeah, this is the sheet, but what I've been doing for slow drafts in the past, and it sucks, is you type in your players like McCaffrey. I don't know, you wouldn't get Olave, Debo, whatever. But like if you're 15 rounds into a slow draft, it's a pain in the ass and impossible to keep track of. So what I've finally done, and this is not, I'm not a coder. It's not you don't have to download Firefox to add this in, because I can't build the code or the app for you. But try to make this fairly simple. To be able to import your slow draft. So I'm on the clock here. This is a sprint, so this would actually be good. I'm on the clock in two drafts, sprint and a BBM, so we can look at both. But basically what you would do, I'm on the clock here. What round is this? Round 14. So yeah, you'd have, instead of typing in 13 names, and what this does, it usually guesses who's available based on ADP. But go to the draft board view, hit this little sort of export button. What it'll do is it opens the draft board in a new tab. I'll just paste that in here so you can see what it looks like on its own page. So you go in here, click anywhere in here, Control or Command A, which is select all, and then copy, Control C. Go over to here and just paste it. This import draft tab. I put the instructions here if you follow. So yeah, on Underdog, just open the draft in a new window. Essentially, here's the two buttons that you click: copy, paste all, and then it'll populate your draft board here. So then all you have to do is tell it what pick number you are. Chip, I got to keep you in charge of telling me if you can see things, but yeah. So then once you've done that, you go over, there's a toggle. Basically, whenever you're in here, if you want to fire up a new draft, just check these yellow boxes to make sure the settings are how you like them. So instead of BBM, I'm actually going to do what I call playoff balanced, which applies equal correlations for all the playoff weeks. I'm on Underdog. Instead of manual, which I would use for live draft, this is paste. So now you'll see sort of this hidden grouped column here. And all I'll do is drag this over. So this is the team that I've drafted over here, right? So Jordan Love, Kyron, Pacheco, Zamir, Chase Brown, Jefferson, etc. I don't need to read the names to you because they're all here. And then what this does is has now populated the best players available, or what I judge to be the best players available, actually looking at the draft board instead of estimating. So Brad, GM, thanks for coming by, buddy. I don't know why I called you buddy, but thanks anyway. So yeah, this is saying JJ McCarthy is a great pick for this team because of Jefferson and some of the Green Bay stuff, but obviously his ADP is pick 200. I'm on the clock for 165. Will Levis, an option as well for the Calvin Ridley. Baseball sheet, probably not. 5 p.m. Doing a little date night and pre-drinks before the 4th with the wife, so they don't want to get stuck grinding best baseball out. But yeah, so then as far as this is a one. So other things like that I look at when I'm on the clock, obviously I've only drafted one quarterback in pretty low cost, Jordan Love. Running back, like this is pretty much the window I want to be in. I might add one later. It's not a top priority for me. Tight ends, this is probably a 3 tight end build, but no tight ends popping off the page here. I suppose I could do a Hunter Henry. Looks to be the best tight end available, and that could actually set up Drake May because this, could be a 3 quarterback team, which is interesting. But if I were to, in wide receiver, I'm actually pretty well invested here. Jefferson, Nico, Flowers, Ridley, Watson, Wicks. So I'm like pretty good here. So none of the running backs are calling out to me a whole bunch. I actually kind of like this Hunter Henry thing to set up Drake May, or because then I'll still have Levis, McCarthy. Grab one of those. Is there anything that I'm really missing? I don't think so. So yeah, like if you were to sort by ADPs, like Quentin Johnston, whatever. So I kind of like Hunter Henry here. This gives me 3 tight ends to shut it down. Slightly different texture. It gives me some quarterback back stack options. TD, thanks for coming by. Yeah, so we'll see what else I'm on the clock for in a best ball mania. Oh, well, I'm not really going to be able to import much here in the first round, but I'll make that pick later. But we can pretend I'm on the clock in this other one here. Let's pretend we were on the clock. So I think it's fairly straightforward and pretty quick. Import draft, copy paste the board. I am pick number 1. Pick number 1 here. Ungroup. So I'm not on the clock, but if I was, I already have 3 quarterbacks here. This Baker, Caleb, Justin Fields, 4 running backs, CMC, Kyron, Walker. Tight end is kind of weak, Bowers, Kmet. So it could be a craft. I like Juwan Johnson a lot. It's pretty toss-up-ish between those two, right? Adjusted rankings, 204 versus 207. You can take who you prefer there. So yeah, and if for some reason, this probably is a bad example, but if you were drafting a different contest, I don't know how much the correlations would change, but if you're drafting Best Ball Mania, which is more week 17 focused, the rankings will adjust accordingly. Or if you did a custom correlation where for some reason, or you're playing a marathon style contest where all you care about is the regular season, Roschon Johnson really climbs in this specific set of rankings because it would just be a consolidated Bears bet. So I like to think the customization and flexibility of the tool is a pretty neat feature. So yeah, otherwise that's the newest feature that I've added. Another thing that I think, so DraftKings screenshotting sucks, and this might be kind of stupid. Let's pretend this is a DraftKings team. And I'll just finish drafting it with fake players. Taysom Hill, I don't know, Roschon, and Estime. So the share tab basically will just reorder, it sort of is like your export thing on Underdog, like the tile basically. But if you wanted to go ahead and flex your teams on Twitter, just one way to make your DraftKings teams a little prettier. I guess you could do the same for Underdog, but you might as well just do their own, or just use this page. Correlate your guys, get your guys. I agree. Let's see. Let's jump in a draft. I won't keep you guys hostage much longer, but when I am on the clock, join Best Ball Mania. I'll bounce back and forth waiting for 9. So I'll bounce back and forth between this sheet and make sure you, by the way, switch back to manual. Otherwise, like it's going to use whatever your most recently imported draft is, or if I didn't import one. Actually, that would probably be fine. But yeah, just switch back to manual. Always, no matter what, get your guys. I said that I would be more balanced this year. I'm just not good at it. I've done 36 Best Ball Manias and a handful of other drafts. So right now my highest exposure is Braylon Allen at 35%, Xavier Worthy, Zeke, Troy Franklin. So I got, a handful of guys, almost 2 handfuls over 20%, a couple guys over 30. So we'll see how I do balancing my exposures. I definitely am a get your guys type of drafter. So still waiting on 4 to fill. Nobody wants that sweet streamer EV. Oh yeah, so we'll switch this back to DraftKings, or switch this back to Underdog. While we're here, just try and lay of the land. This is where you would type in your players as you go, your pick number. Things that I'm looking at here, obviously, you know, the playoff matchups. But once you start drafting, so like let's say we're pick 6, we get Amon-Ra St. Brown, we do the Debo thing. Kyron, like this is a pretty cool start, where you got, you know, some correlations everywhere. Man, I really hope I get pick 6 because that would be sweet. So something to do here, either when you're on the clock or like trying to script out drafts. This is like the top 20 or so based on ADP, but just to help you script out later in the drafts, right? The guys that are like going to be super important to filling out your teams that correlate with your current roster. So this is just the rest of the pool, top correlated guys. So obviously you're not picking Brock Purdy yet, but just knowing the importance of Brock Purdy or Jared Goff to this team, you know, based on your first few picks. So, oh, we picked 6. What are the odds of that? 1 in 12, I guess, but 1 in 12. So yeah, we'll pick 6. Feature request, hit me. If nothing, I'm a man of the people, and if you have features, shoot them at me. Worst I can say is no, or I can't do that because I'm dumb, but definitely trying to add features. First round, by the way, like, I mean, I have my rankings in here. You can export them directly from the site pretty easily, but for the most part, I'm like more or less in line with ADP. I do like Puka quite a bit. I have a hard time with the Bijan and Brees builds. So I'm really happy to get a top 6 pick. You know, Amon-Ra, I do think is a little bit of a tier break. Something, it's not necessarily a feature, but something I kind of added here is kind of formulated tiers. And it's kind of funky for the first round, but I do think there is a decent drop off between Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra. But all right, so we'll get Justin Jefferson. So yeah, so the Justin Jefferson thing is fun, Matt. I'll get to you in a second. The Jefferson thing is fun. Like a lot of people have talked about it, but like this is a really cool way to start to think about your plans for the rest of the draft is the Chicago, Seattle, Green Bay, right? And seeing those guys, bubble up. This can basically be what your star method is, but thinking about, once you add Chicago, right? And it's very apparent here. So if you add Chicago, which plays Justin Jefferson in week 15, you notice that they play Seattle in week 17, who plays Minnesota in week 16. So there's a lot of reciprocity, I guess, in that NFC North plus Seattle type builds. 5 picks away. After I make this next pick, let's see. Oh, Saquon goes 12. Saquon Debo. In that box where it shows the upcoming correlating guys, can you add a column or something that shows what round pick number that guy's ADP rank would be? It should compare versus the team box you're filling it in. It would be nice to have directly in the box. Could you like show, like, are you talking about down here, like round? You'd want to know like what round to target these guys, essentially, because this is basically on the clock, like, or maybe the round after. This, I guess, is the whole rest of the draft. So yeah, like JJ McCarthy, maybe it would be helpful. You're saying it would be helpful to know like JJ McCarthy is around 17 target here. Okay, I can add that. I might just add it here, try not to lose too much real estate, but that could help you sort of script your draft. So let's see here. Olave and Adams. I don't get much Jonathan Taylor. Actually, I have 0. I was talking about it with Badge Bros Discord. If you're not a part of the Deposit Kingdom, over at the Deposit Kingdom, Badge Bros, like, we're talking best ball all day, every day, completely free to join. A lot of sharp people. For me, this is Devontae all day. There's not really any correlation stuff here, and I'm not really going at him to correlate a whole lot in the first few rounds necessarily anyway, unless it totally falls into your lap. So yeah, nope, not Olave, but Devontae Adams. So Ayuk goes. I've been seeing Ayuk fall a bit on DraftKings into like the mid to late 3rd round. I think that's kind of crazy. We'll see if he does get traded. But one feature that I'm still kind of working on, or I think I can do that as far as scripting the drafts. But one feature I'm trying to kind of work on is this concept of probabilities and RNG versus just picking, the best players, right? So what I like, or try to help with, is to give you all of your options sorted and ranked in the way that I see it, or your imported ranks, and you could do the same thing. But so like right now, I have Kyron listed here, but like DK Metcalf, Neighbors. I do have Kyron kind of a tier in his own, but what I'm trying to work on is within a tier, basically show your probabilities of like, yeah, I do have Kyron ahead of DK, but it's like 60-40, and kind of flip that coin for you. So something I'm still working on, because this doesn't plug into Underdog directly. It doesn't actually know who's on the board, so I got to think about that. Achane, a pretty big faller here. He's like not even showing up because he's so far past ADP. Not really any stacking considerations here. Like, I guess, like, yeah, DK Metcalf went, so he's really the only stacking consideration. So yeah, I'll take Achane. I'll take Achane at pick 30. Sup, up dog? Sup. So yeah, if there's people, so like if people go past ADP, this is where you have the ability to evaluate them, see how they fit in with your team. Obviously, Achane was like a cut above. Kyron and Metcalf were not available, so then Achane was my 25th ranked player, obviously. So select him. So yeah, not a whole lot of like stacking considerations here in round 4, unless someone like Tank Dell were to fall. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll see maybe Amari Cooper. So just to show you, like, it's not huge movements and shakings here, but it's pretty flat, right? I would say round 2 to 3, a lot of those receivers are flat. And then in that round 4, like the Amari T Pickens group, correlation, like this helps you quantify. Like I have Amari ranked 46, but with like a little bit of Achan correlation, more than a little bit, right? Week 17, which is pretty big correlation, has him move up, a third of a round. Would you consider making the ADP buffer easy for someone? I'll think about it, Chip. I'll think about it because I've tried to. That's something that I've thought about, how to make it work for us a little better and more realistically. Just the percentage stuff is weird in the first round or 2, right? Because if you're on pick 20, it's like 10% is only 2 picks. But yeah, I'll think if I can make something work. Is anything weird happening here? Couple receiver heavy folks, more than a couple. Josh Allen, Mark Andrews goes. I like Mark Andrews a lot. Tank that would have been nice. So yeah, this is probably going to be Amari for me. I do actually have Jalen Hurts ranked ahead, but I don't think I really am trying to do the naked Jalen Hurts thing. Amari's my top ranked receiver. A lot of the guys behind me seem to be drafting receivers, so Amari. Yeah, it's an option. Raw number for first few rounds, then percents. For sure. So like hopefully I'm demonstrating in like I'm not good at streaming and not super well practiced, but I'm able to manage this like streaming and talking to Chip and Matt in the audience and keeping on top of the sheet and correlations. It's also easier if you were like, if I was on my, if I wasn't streaming, I'd probably just have it like, dual screen or like side by side. Pretty easy to just go back and forth looking at things. So we'll see. As far as like correlation stuff, like I guess Josh Jacobs, I'm not a huge fan. Jaden Reed, Ken Walker kind of bumping up the board. And Jordan. And Ori. GM for real. Have you multi-tabled? I have. What you would have to do until I figure out how to not break things is just make a copy and you can kind of have 2 tabs going. It's one of those things that sounds harder than it is, I think. So here's like, when I'm falling behind, let's say, like, so I'll plug in right now. I know they're up there, but like, oh gosh. Mahomes, Jacobs, Kincaid, Reed, Brown. Is it Hollywood or Marquise Brown in here? Yeah. So like, Mahomes goes. So I'm not really, so Kincaid has not gone, but Mahomes goes. I'm not really into Josh Jacobs. So yeah, hopefully I got Jaden Reed, who I don't have much of. Yeah. Rank 53 at pick 54, so not a huge move there, but gives me a little bit of week 17 correlation and gives me another out to a quarterback in Jordan Love. Jordan did 5 at a time. multiple monitors, just keep your draft tabs in the same order. Yes, that's exactly what I do. Like I line up the tabs and like I'll have one screen with the sheet and one screen with the drafts and just line up the tabs in order. And like control or command 1 or control command 2 gets you to the second, third, fifth tab, on Chrome, probably for any browser. So you just have your two windows open and you are in draft 2. You can just hit command 2 on both pages and get over to the correct associated room. Don't see the read hype. Yeah, I'm slightly behind ADP on Jaden Reed, but I like it with a Justin Jefferson thing, and I think it's just an archetype where he's a dynamic playmaker. Rookie last year, broke out late in the season. Got injured towards the end, so wasn't the playoff spike guy that people were necessarily hoping for, but basically seemed like the top guy that the Packers were trying to get the ball in his hands. They're feeding him, 1 or 2 rushes a game down the stretch. I see the bear case for sure, but I think just in general, like a high performing rookie on an up and coming offense is something that you want, like an archetype you want to be bullish for, or at least, cognizant of, like, if he could bury you or not. So we'll be at pick 67. So I saw Brian Thomas went. Ken Walker as my RB2 would be okay. I would really love Roma Dunze goes. So then now I have, it's going to be between Kittle, Walker, and Addison. Addison goes, so that helps Mixon, Walker, Kittle. Mixon, Walker, Kittle. We'll eliminate Mixon. So it's basically between Walker and Kittle. What Kittle does, a little 16 correlation gives me, I'm going to go Kittle and push running back a little more because I have Achane here. I actually really don't mind Rashee Rice at this point, but I think Kittle, nice playoff, like future stacking considerations, with or without Brock Purdy, but we have the Miami bet. We can add some Detroit pieces as well. Yeah, like, so the slot boy thing is interesting. Like, there's been a lot of high performing, like Amon-Ra St. Brown was basically a slot boy his whole rookie year. I get it. Like, it's very easy, and I think more often than not, like Jaden Reed's median slightly underperforms around 5, but I think there's just outsized upside betting on that type of profile. Like, it's very easy to say Christian Watson, like they think that they've solved this hamstring injury. Like, the next time that there's been like a medical breakthrough on, like, oh, we finally figured out, like, this guy's actually now going to be healthy, like, that'll be the first time. So I'll believe that when I see it. But yeah, we'll see Montgomery, Watson, Kamara. So Watson goes, I would have been fine with him. So I do have 4 receivers already. So I'm, with a bunch of eyes there. I'm like, okay with Kamara here. Or do I get another, like, JSN? Man, I'm not into Keon Coleman here. But if I don't take Coleman, am I going to be behind? Kamara correlates with Adams a bit. Aaron Jones. I'll go JSN. I'm not scared of this week 10 thing. I think this is like last chance to take receiver I feel okay about, because the next round it's going to be pretty thin at receiver. Unless you're a Pittman stan, what's the difference in Reed and Downs? Well, one is that Jordan Love probably throws for like 1,000 more yards than Anthony Richardson. And Jaden Reed is in the conversation to be the wide receiver 1, and Josh Downs most often is going to be the wide receiver 3, and like at best wide receiver 2 for a much lesser efficient offense. TD is sheetless and mobile and possibly driving, and in the YouTube chat. Thank you for your service. Andrew, thanks for coming by. Joining late, how did your sheet know which players are available? So it kind of doesn't. What it does is estimates based on ADP. So it shows 5 guys before your next pick. So it knows, I'm next on the clock at 91, which is actually kind of helpful to know. So it'll show everyone from ADP 87 or 6 through the next 20. But if someone falls, you can add them, as a custom option to look for. So like Jonathan Brooks is not going to show up. I guess he does here. But yeah, we have a lot of good running back options here. And I haven't gone quarterback yet. I have a lot of mid to late outs. I haven't taken Jordan Love much. So now I'm going to have to decide, right? Jordan Love is like a huge get for me here. But it's a question of, can I push Jordan Love to 102? See, I would have taken Brooks if he was there, but now it's going to be Warren or Love. And this is why it's helpful to know, correlation tiebreakers and stuff. Like I have Joe Burrow ranked ahead, like 2 rounds ahead of Jordan Love, but obviously given the bet on Jaden Reed and even Justin Jefferson, like Jordan Love becomes hugely, and you can see them here. Like I have Jordan Love's adjusted, like in this reality where Jaden Reed pays off his tag, Jordan Love, becomes more valuable to this team than Joe Burrow. So I will take Jordan Love, someone who I don't think I had any of actually. And it's not on purpose. Like I have Jordan Love ranked 100. His ADP is 97. I just, I wasn't getting his earlier receivers, but now Love opens the door. Dobbs at 102 with an ADP of 104 sets up nicely. I'll actually just refresh the ADPs. It looks like they are maybe a day stale here. So while that refreshes. Enjoying using the sheet. Thank you. Alter the schedule manually for DK September. Oh, did you do that? That's neat. If you want to DM me, if you think that's one of your edges and you don't want to share, I'm not going to put you on the spot, but if you want to DM me what you did, I guess it's, fairly simple. It's not a contest that I've played, but yeah, you can just go in. I guess it's 4 weeks, so you'd have to add one. Yeah. My kind of philosophy as a tout, so to speak, I try not to give advice or shill things where I don't have money behind my takes. So contests that I'm not playing, I try not to wax poetic and pretend that I have stuff at stake. So yeah, DeAndre Swift would be a faller here if he does fall. So as my RB2, I don't love DeAndre Swift, but him versus Romeo Dobbs, it's pretty toss up. I actually might lean Swift here just structurally. Also because Dobbs would then be another week 10. Oh, what was that? created a QR code for the underdog page. All right, I didn't accidentally do anything bad. All right, so yeah, big ADP value on Swift. So what this helps in, like, there's overlays that people use that are awesome. I won't specifically shout them out, but this tells me how much more important Swift is with a little bit of that week 15 correlation with Justin Jefferson, and as well as the week 17 with JSN. So she wants to swing me the Purdy way. I'm not going to prioritize Purdy. I could stand to fill out running backs. I'm like open. If Dobbs falls, I'm for sure fine with that. Otherwise, I think I'm going to pass on receivers. Like, this is not a window where I'm taking many receivers. Tight end, I have Kittle, so I'm like fine here for a bit. Like, I have like my favorite, like, I love playing Hawkinson. I have the Komet window available. Otherwise, like, Musgrave or Tucker Kraft super late. So like already starting to script it out. And I know like Juwan Johnson, right? If I were to pencil him in here, because I know he pairs with Devontae Adams in week 17. Ooh, funny enough, a week 16 there. So yeah, if I can get Dobbs, that would be cool. Caleb, I'm not gonna Caleb probably grades okay, just as like a Chicago Bears bet on Swift, but I wouldn't have a premium stacking option unless I force Komet as my, all right, so Dobbs goes. So I will probably, oh man, I really don't like Chase Brown anymore. 115 for Zeke. Ugh. This is almost like begging me to take Wicks. It's almost begging me to take Wicks here and push running back. I wish I had Quorum. I'm going to go Wicks. Was Purdy still there? I think Purdy's gone. Yeah. Do we have any news on Hawk? Hawk for me is like time and place with a week 9 Kittle bye. I think, I don't know, but it's like if Hawk is back by week 9, like you're going to be really loving it. And if not, a Juwan Johnson type. I think Juwan Johnson might even play in September. I don't have specific news on Hawk. But if we've identified that late tight end is kind of weak this year, leaving I like having a guy that I think has easy path to 15, 20 points. Was there Chase Brown news? I don't know if it was like news so much as people revisiting his profile of like, I think he pass blocked 8 snaps or 5 snaps last year. He's more of like a scat back guy. And like, I will say, like, you are allowed to throw to your running back on 1st and 2nd down. So it's okay if he doesn't block. But I don't know. But yeah, and they might be wanting a 3rd down back. So Caleb is continuing to fall. The only problem is it pigeonholes me into Komet, which I don't want to have to do. I really like Zeke. Sharps would be fine here as well. I actually have, so I should trust the sheet here. I have Zeke ranked 112, Sharps 123, but this is, leaning me the Sharps route because of, some earlier bets. So I'll use that to get me on Sharps. Well, I'm not convinced that Sharps is any good, but in this world, Ken Walker has gotten hurt, etc. And this is like, this enters my, if I've said, like, if I could trade my 7th round pick for several in the 130 to 140 range, like Hawkinson, Marshawn Lloyd, Ty Chandler, Nick Chubb, Dotson, Leggett, Like, I just love these guys. Like, I think you have some really good contingent rookie or 23-year-old running backs. You have the late upside Nick Chubb and Hawkinson, and you have some really wide receivers. Like, there's a lot of really fun ways to go here. Even Kendra Miller, who I'm not super high on, he probably fits this team decently. Zeke goes. Man, this week 10 thing, 6 receivers. Am I gonna go 8? I probably have to try and field something for week 10, but Chip will tell me that doesn't matter. It's probably true, honestly. All right, so Hawk, Marshawn Lloyd, Chubb. Marshawn Lloyd goes. He probably would have been my top priority there. As far as like my wide receiver plan, like Jermaine Burton, man, I really like Troy Franklin. What's nice about this week 10 thing, funny enough, and there goes Chubb, who I really would have loved, is I can actually draft rookie receivers in hope that they are, starting to get cooking down the stretch here. So that kind of accidentally makes some sense here. The running backs that I was targeting have all quickly started to fall. So yeah, Ty Chandler. I'm not going to do the Hawk reach here because sometimes he goes way past Chandler. Yeah. Chandler as my RB4 feels pretty good. Drafting as buys literally do not matter. Buys don't matter except when they do. So I've built, I'll use air quotes for sim, but basically, where is it? I've sort of hidden it, but nothing is actually hidden here. Everything is sort of open sourced. But basically it looks at, it doesn't realize HN. Oh, okay, I'll fix that. But basically for your buys to help you understand, right? So like week 10, for example, you're noticing a bunch of these blanks for all these buys that I have. Like if I were to draft, I don't know, let's say Rashad Bateman later, which I would never do, just to fill in that buy. It's like week 10, great, Rashad Bateman scored 6.6 points. Or if I were to like resim it, he scored, I'll like highlight the tab. He scored 6.8, 7.2, like 9, 6, I don't know. There's like a lot of times, and it's like not showing now, but like 4.9 there. So like there's a lot of times, like for receiver is one thing, but like, or sorry, for quarterback, I would say it's one thing where you get a pretty decent floor. But like tight ends, a lot of the times the guy you're drafting in round 16 to fill in for the bye is going to score like 4 points in that specific week. And you're just going to feel like a huge idiot if you went out of your way. If you went out of your way to like secure someone in a bye, like to fill in for the bye. So I'm thinking commit or Musgrave here. Receiver, or sorry, running back, nothing. Receiver, I'm going to try and push like the Troy Franklin type of stuff. Gino. Yeah, so it's either Musgrave or commit. So I have commit 145, Musgrave 154. I'll do commit here. Yeah. I'm like kind of bearish on Musgrave, even on this Jordan Love team, to be honest, because Tucker Kraft is playing ahead of him down the stretch. Granted, it was Musgrave who got hurt and Tucker Kraft was healthy, and now it's kind of the reverse, but I'm not super into the potential timeshare there. Or he's happy about Bears tight end. You'll notice here a little bit of negative correlation. The reason for that is because I'm valuing the playoffs a good bit in week 17 in particular. I have DeAndre Swift. So a lot of the times, like, a running back does well because, yards and touchdowns and things like that. A lot of the time, if your running back is hitting 75th to 90th percentile, it hurts someone like Komet, who's also going to get, like, there's a finite amount of touchdowns that can be scored unless you're the Dolphins playing against the Broncos last year. So that's kind of like, that's why you kind of see that you can IKB and override that essentially in your head and just say, hey, I'm making like sort of a Bears type of bet. And if I were to add Geno Smith at some point, like, I'm sure Komet would flip positive or, slightly less negative. Or as I add, JJ McCarthy, who I'd be happy to add on this team, you can flip that. Three picks. So like, what, I don't think I would take Musgrave here. It's like, I would love Roman Wilson. Otherwise, I'm fine pushing Troy Franklin up. Or Ray Davis. My sheet takes a bit of a delay when I plug in players. Can be tough when picking at the turn. It might just be internet and or computing power. Like on my phone, it's kind of a pain in the ass. I wish it was better. I don't necessarily have a great reason for you. Yeah, I will take Roman Wilson over Franklin just a little bit. Like, there's no correlation stuff either direction. Both kind of give me QB outs. So yeah, I think it's just internet / computing. Stuff on my phone, it's definitely slower. And you have to kind of wait for the formatting to load. Like, maybe try, if you like really don't, if it's really that bad and like this might be ugly, just like go to like highlight everything or like and hit like clear formatting. Oh, that would be bad. But like, maybe in certain spots, just like clear formatting, because like maybe it's like the colors and stuff. Yeah, sorry that happens, but hopefully it's not too bad most of the time, except for when you're on those turns. Geno is not someone I take much, but like the JSN Sharps, I could do a Noah Fant tight end 3, which I don't get to much. I guess Deshaun went, which kind of surprised me. Like, people usually don't take Deshaun. Rodgers. Yes, I don't really know what my other wide receiver pick is going to be. Could set up a Patriots thing. It's a little early for Braylon. I guess Marvin Mims is still a viable path to Geno. Do I want Geno here? I mean, I want JJ McCarthy, Fields. Marvin Mims sets up Bo Nix, but I'm not like super pumped to go to battle with like a Marvin Mims, Bo Nix. So like, let me secure Geno here. Same buy as Jordan Love, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, Geno's a pretty nice add here because I have so much of that Green Bay, Minnesota. Like I have, it's like you notice here, like I have my correlations. So I have 3 Seattle players And I have 2 of their opponents in week 17, 2 of their opponents in week 16, and 3 of their opponents in week 15. So as you see, it's very easy here. And like I stayed pretty, like I have net 3 points of, not 3 points, 3 picks of ADP value. So I haven't like been hugely reaching, a couple of reaches to help secure the correlation. But it's that NFC North plus Seattle thing is pretty easy to get going, and now it's just like Geno helps solidify those 3 stacks that I have here. This team is, yeah, I might label, I'm not good at labeling teams, but I will label this as check back in week 10. So yeah, I do have, I do have quarterback outs here. JJ McCarthy should be starting by week 10. Justin Fields, I don't really know about Carr, but like I could take a stab on Minshew or something. Could even go Wandale to give me that. Nope, I can't go Wandale because he's gone. It's okay. So, I'm pretty good investment-wise at receivers. Just do I care about week 10? So, like, let's see. So right now, this team's fake sim is 132, and you can, like, kind of play around and get it to recalculate, certain things. But, like, let's say I were to add Luke McCaffrey, like, 133 becomes 139, but, sometimes it doesn't actually add much. Let's see. I kind of like Braylon Allen here. He's been sitting at the top of the ADP, or not ADP, but my rankings for a while. I am a little light on running backs. So Kittle, Kmet, I probably can or should be done at tight end. Because I will be spending a 3rd pick on a quarterback. If my receivers had different buys, I'd be done at 7, but if I can, I'd like to add one more here. I need another quarterback, and I'd like to do another running back. So with my that doesn't leave me enough. I only have 2 picks left. Another quarterback, and then I'll have to decide between, am I done at running back with Achane, Swift, Sharp, Chandler, Braylon Allen? Yeah, I might have to be. I just might have to be. I think go Luke McCaffrey, Javon Baker, another late bloomer, Jalen Hyatt potentially. I don't know if there's any receivers, not much like correlation stuff, especially, most of my quarterback weapons have been accounted for. Devontae Walker, someone that I really quite like as well. But if McCaffrey falls, I'll go him. Otherwise, Baker leaves me the May. Oh no, May is probably gone. I was going to say leaves me the May out if Mecole Hardman gets a job. That'll be interesting. Oh yeah, the Joe Burrow. Super late. Oh, with Chase. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Hyatt, D. Jones. Like, I'd rather play this team through McCarthy, but I might take Hyatt just to give me that extra out. I don't think I will do that because I can also just go Russ or even Carr, honestly, for that 3rd quarterback on this team. Yeah, so we'll take Luke McCaffrey. That's pretty nice. I'm not like the biggest fan of his, but if you like, the archetype makes sense, right? Or I need the week 10, or I don't need the week 10 points, right? A lot of the times Luke McCaffrey's most times he's probably scoring like 6 points or something in that specific week, but another late bloomer type can't hurt. At least that's what I tell myself. And then I'll go McCarthy or Fields or Russ. So yeah, like if you weren't streaming, you as in you and not me. Like if I wasn't streaming, like you can keep better track of the draft board. Like if you're around the turn and understand like who you can push and how the room is kind of looking. So I haven't really been paying attention specifically to the room, but I think it's pretty doable. And hopefully, you know, with a couple of additional features, add things a little easier, especially for your slow drafts, to help you script things out. Just drafted Kelsey and Hawk. Forgot they share a buy. It's never been more over. Let's look at that. Oh, fuck you, man. Fuck you, dude. It's fine. Justin Fields to Roman Wilson, or just to himself. We're begging you, literally begging you. I want to be able to tell that dude to go fuck himself. Did he have like Addison or something? Yeah, he had Addison. All right, dude. That's fine. That's fine. That's on me for not seeing that Addison was behind me. Nah, whatever. Doesn't matter. So yeah, here's the team. Like this 132, it's like a made up number. Like in the 140s seems to be like good to great teams. Like, yeah, if you resim, it's basically just like a fake random number generator based on bye weeks, correlation, projections, but just kind of show you the different realities, right? In this one, maybe just like the Vikings are really good, or you know, Packers are very good. This next one, they're all right. You know, just click around and just kind of show you the RNG. But yeah, I want to look at this tight end buys thing, just like a fake example. No, I'm not doing Sam Darnold. Kelsey and Hawk. All right. So I don't know. Do we want to recap the team? Like, does anyone care? Blah, blah, blah. I have 3 Packers in their stack. I have 3 Seattle in their stack. I have some Chicago. I have some Vikings. Like and subscribe. But all right, let's look at this Kelsey thing. So let's like fill out a fake team. Let's fill out a fake team. Where does Kelsey go? Like 43? All right, 39. All right, so we're gonna pick 10 to 39. All right. Breece Hall. Oh my goodness. Breece Hall. Let's say we got, you know, London or something. Cup, Kelsey, and this doesn't matter. I just want to get a full lineups just to like not mess with the flex. And I'll try actually not to. I'll try and uncorrelate this if I can. Tank Dell. Like, who's a wide receiver here that would not be correlated? Pittman. Just so we're not showing any correlations here. James Cook. I would never draft this team. Brooks or something. Burrow. All right. So I would never draft this team, but like here, like you are able to field a lineup here. And I'm doing this live, so like I actually don't know what the result of this fake thing is going to be. But let's say, so it's the week 6 thing. So, you know, it doesn't matter unless you draft. So this team, this fake team, is scoring 102 points per week. Adding Hawk, like, all right, so because they share the same buy, so like we'll run this. We can run it like 10 times and just see what happens. Hawk versus, let's say, Komet, who I have ranked pretty much the same. Like literally ranked back to back. So Hawk. All right, so 98.3, 99, 99, 108, 98, 98. Okay. It's a lot of 98s. Now you add Komet. All right. 101, 90, 98, 100, 100, 102, 96, 102. Like, there was probably a more scientific way to do that, but it doesn't really move the needle a whole lot whether you take that 0, because like Cole Kmet's specific week 6 score is just like, here's like a fake range of outcomes for Cole Kmet's season in this fake sim, and this takes the average. Like, I sim it 25 times. So let's find Cole Kmet here. So like in my first fake sim of Cole Kmet, right? Here's what he does. You know, he averages 8 points, but he scores 12, 15, 9, 4, 6, whatever. He's on bye. So this is your Kelsey bye. In this sim, he scores 6.9. If it happened to be the next week, he'd score 0.8 in this, you know, fake reality. Oh wait, it's week 6, so 9.4. It's the one the box before the blank numbers. And this next sim, he scored 17 on your Kelsey bye. This next sim, 20.7. All right, maybe you know, commits who you need. 10.3. You know, 6.4. 3.4. It's like there's just like, it's so often that his average points per game is 8 points, right? But his median is going to be less than that. So the most common outcome from filling your bye, like your tight end bye, is 6 points. And that's just the likelihood of that being exactly the difference in advancing or not. It's not super high. So I would rather draft good teams that I think can score a lot of points over a season and over week 17 than trying to maximize for how do I get 8 extra points over a bye week. Brian GM. That's it for me. Thanks for coming by. If you have any questions or feedback, like and subscribe. I have a chat box on easydfs.xyz. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Discord. If you have feature requests, I'll try and incorporate some of the ones that we talked about today. That's it for me. Happy 4th, by the way, for those of you in the States. And if not, enjoy it anyway. Adios. See ya.